is by an intricate design of nature that success is a condition that must be attracted and not pursued. We achieve rewards and we make progress, not by our intense pursuits, but by what we become. For it is what we are that finally determines the results we attract. To have more, we must first become more. It is our personal philosophy that establishes our individual attitude. It is our attitude that determines both the quantity and the quality of our level of activity. That activity produces proportionate results, and the results provide the lifestyle we seek. The results and the lifestyle are the effects, the conditions we inherit. But it is our personal philosophy, attitude, and activity which are the ultimate cause of the effect. To change the effect, we must alter the cause. And yet most people curse the effect, but continue to nourish the cause. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. These simple words are from the foreword of Jim Rohn's great but little, very little book called The Five Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle. It's one of the books that we recommended. A short read, but with words that are power for success. Hello and welcome to Basketball Talk Pro. My name is Ron Ecker. I was reading a business book about 3-4 days ago and something struck me. It quoted a very high-powered speaker, motivational speaker that actually did a workshop about 2 days long for different groups. He made this remark. He said, I am really surprised at the number of people who come to this workshop and want to breeze through the personal development area and get right to the how-to area. And he found that curious. And I do too. But I know the same thing happens with basketball coaches. Their concern is constantly, and can I get another drill that's going to make me better? Can offense make me better? Defense make me better? And they don't take into consideration that maybe what they need to get better is themselves. Personal development in our profession, and I just know this from experience, that it has to come first. You have to take care of yourself first. You have to prepare yourself first. You have to train yourself first. Because, and we have a great example of it that I'll go through. Yes, you can find all the technical stuff in basketball. There's all kinds of books. Be careful. Not many of them are worth reading or trying to live by. But after you get all of that, you get yourself all prepared technically and nice offenses and defenses and everything. Where you're going to fail, and likely you will, is if you haven't taken care of yourself. Remember the 7 qualities of a coach that we talked about? They're still in the archive. Love, substance, independence, concentration, personal discipline, vision, personal determination. Well, you have to have those kind of qualities, and you only build those through personal development. And so you probably will not be able to get the same results from that drill, from that offense, that others can get out of it. Some time ago, I gave you a challenge. Do 3 things every week. Do a film, break down a film, read a good book, talk to an experienced coach. I think if you followed those, you would do well. But they're basketball things. They don't take into consideration, other than the fact that you disciplined yourself to do those things, they don't take into consideration how you can improve yourself as a person. It isn't only for basketball coaching. It's for all kinds of parts of your life that you need to develop and develop yourself. And so it's more important than just the 3 things. I think if you have good personal development, personal discipline, for example, you will do the 3 things to make yourself a better coach. It's one thing to hear it from me, then walk away from it and say, boy, that's good stuff. And then by the next morning, you've forgotten about it. You're not doing it. This takes a certain kind of person that will do it, and do it every day, and do it rigorously and intensely. Well, I'm going to throw out another one to you. I wish you would do it. 1 hour a day. Work on your personal development. 1 hour a day for 6 days. There are 168 hours in a week. 6 hours certainly isn't a very big percentage. Can't you afford that? Can't you take the time to do that? Listen, I know coaching. I know how busy you get. I know the pressures you're on. I know all those things. Gone through it. But I know you got 1 hour a day, because I did. You got 1 hour. The trick is to be able to block that hour off and really get something done in it. And to purposely seek to help yourself personally. It's going to help you in all kinds of walks of life. Your family life's going to be better. Your disposition's going to be better. You'll be more creative. You'll be able to think clear. All those things will come to you with developing your personal development. 1 hour a day. Don't tell me you don't have that much time. I hear it all the time. I'm too busy. I can't do this. You know, I've got this job. I've got to go here. Got to go on vacation. I've got to forget it. Put in the 1 hour. That's all. Just do it. Don't think about it. Get it done. But do it intensely. Do it quietly. Do it without distraction. Shut the door. Leave the phone in the other room. Turn off everything else. TV, radio. You have to put an intense effort into it to get anything done. Well, I said I had a example. I'm going to give it to you. If you followed this for some time, you have heard the story before, but it's worth repeating. You remember in number 125, I made reference to a picture in Phil Jackson's book, which he was carving a turkey. Well, he responded to that and made it very clear to me that I could use the thing, not all of what he said in the email, but that particular area. And he explained it but he went on. But he said something in 126 that I think we're talking about. And that is, he said, I was fortunate, I'm paraphrasing this a little bit, to find a spiritual tool that kept me from letting my mind go astray, monkey mind he called it, and keep to the task at hand. Well, I'll say the same thing today I said that day. You know, we all admired what he has done, but we all had reasons for it. Well, he had Michael Jordan. Well, he had Kobe Bryant. Well, it was the triangle. Well, it was something else and something else. We were all fools. It wasn't Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never won a championship that Phil Jackson didn't coach him. Now, if he was the reason, why couldn't he win it for all those other coaches? Kobe Bryant has never won a championship except when Phil Jackson coached him. The triangle, a lot of people have tried that. Triangle was founded back in the 50s. So, you know, it wasn't that. It wasn't all those things. He had developed himself personally, 35 years of meditating. That's personal discipline, amongst other things. That's a living example. And you can deny it, you can argue my point on this. But if you really look at it completely honestly, Phil Jackson had something that most coaches don't have. They'd taken the time to develop himself personally. Well, how do you do it? I have to tell you, I can't tell you. I'm not an expert. I'm going to try to help you. Help yourself. But personal development and how you do it is a personal thing for each of us. We don't have to do it the same way, just so we get it done. There's CDs you can listen to, there's DVDs you can listen to, there's stories, it's endless amount of things in the motivational field of personal development. But there's one way that costs you nothing, or very little, and that is books. There's some terrific books in this area, but you gotta be careful. You know, don't get hung up on the sizzle. Get hung up on the content of the book. I'm going to recommend to you 6 books, that I think are a good place for you to start. And I'm going to go through them with you, just briefly, and let you know what they're about. And because I think if you can start there, even if it takes you 2-3 years to get through them all, you'll find one that means more than any other. And there is your quest to follow, to help develop yourself. And in the end, no matter how many clinics you go to, how many conferences you go to, how many of these videos you watch, in the end, it comes down to you, your will, your determination, your self-discipline, your concentration. It comes down to you. And don't let anybody kid you on that. But these books will help you. They'll help you and direct you in the right direction. So, I'd like to go to those now, and I'll give you a brief description of each one. As I mentioned, there are a lot of personal development books. I would say highest percentage may not be really effective personal development books. A lot of people try to get in on the act. So I was very careful with the choices I made here, and I do recommend these personal development books. And I think it would give you, if you're unsure, a very good place to start. None of them will talk to you about basketball, but they will talk to you about the things that will make basketball come much easier to you, as we talked about. I'll just go over each one fairly quickly. The first one, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, is probably the giant of all personal development books. I told you the story, I shared this story with you earlier, that when I was with Orlando, we were flying into New York City, landed, and so we were working our way up. The players were getting off first, the coach was second. I noticed on the seat, there was an area that had 4 seats that were two facing each other. And there was 4 players sitting there, and I noticed on the seat closest to the window was the book Think and Grow Rich. Well, I asked, it was one of the players that was still there, I said, who was reading that book? And he said, Grant Hill. And he said, we were really kidding Grant Hill because we kept telling him, you are rich. Grant, I think, was making $12 million a year at the time. Well, I happened to run into Grant after we got to the hotel. I think we were going to a meeting, and he was in the elevator with me, and we chatted about the book. He wasn't interested in money. He was interested in bettering himself, developing himself. And so we talked about the book, and I think he grasped the book very, very well. If you read any of them, read this one. Even though it sounds like a money book, you can take it that way if you want to. But if you really read it carefully, it's about making yourself better. And he has 13 principles there that are have just stood the test of time. This book still sells an enormous amount of books every year, even though it was written in the 1930s. You'll find it very current. The next one is The Inner Game of Tennis by Galway. You probably wonder why I'm talking about tennis. Well, this book is about tennis for sure, but the principles involved in learning how to master tennis is more about mastering yourself than the game of tennis. It appeals to all aspects of your personal life, and it's worth all of the time that you can put into it. Talent is Overrated by Geoff Colvin. Terrific book. If you think you need to be highly talented, if you think you need to be given this talent, this book will prove you wrong. He has all the factual information, and it'll prove to you that succeeding and rising to the highest levels is mainly the amount of work that you put into it. Terrific personal development book. The 5 Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is a motivational speaker who started in his life having to overcome some really terrific adversity. And he did it listening to his employer, who gave him certain principles. But this book outlines areas that you won't find anyplace else. Jim Rohn's a terrific speaker, but he's also a wonderful writer. And this book will hit home with you. It's truly a personal development book. Hope from My Heart by Rich DeVos. Rich DeVos, at one time not long ago, was one of the 5 richest men in the world. And he started from nothing. He built a company that you may know of, Amway. He also, when I got to know him, was the owner of the Orlando Magic, and he still is. So, I had a year there, and I got to know him a little bit. I can honestly say that he's the most honorable man I've ever met. This particular book tells his story of a heart transplant that he required to keep alive, and how complicated it was. And when he went into it, he knew he may not come out alive. Uh, It'll move you, emotionally move you, this book. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is a book about living in the now, living at the moment, putting your concentration on a certain task until it's completed. He said that book has been rated and testimonialized for a long time now. It's a book that ties in very well with the area of concentration that I've talked to you about. And then I just listed the spiritual books: the Bible, the Torah, the Koran, and the 3 pillars of Zen, representing really the uh, the strength of the religious and spiritual life. But every one of those books have personal development uh, influence. They're great personal development books. You may not find it in every chapter of the book, but throughout them, if you live by those books, you live a very good life. Well, I want you to really take the time to start. If you just go through this list, even if it took you 2, 3 years, I think you'd see a big difference in your life. Um, Listen, we live uh, in our profession uh, for success. We need success if we want to stay in the profession. Um, these books will help you. And if you pay attention to them, take notes, write down things that they say. But the biggest thing is you have to commit yourself to doing the work that they talk about. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is accomplished without the hard work. You need the personal discipline to follow what each one of these men are saying and the spiritual books are saying on how to live a better personal life, whether it's coaching, being a doctor, an accountant, a minister. These books, all of them, are meant to help you live that life better. Well, those are the books. They're not the answer, but they are a help for you to get started. These are all good books uh, with good information, practical information. They're not a fly-by-night thing. They're not a make-money thing. They're really thoughtful books. But listen, they won't do it for you. You got to do it. 1 hour a day. Don't put this off. Start today. Don't say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it next week. Or you just forget it and everything will go away and it'll be useless to have gained an opportunity to take better care of yourself, to push yourself higher and in your life. And it does affect your life, your total life. So don't wait. It's already too late if you wait. Do it now. Get that hour in. Get those books. You know, every one of those books are available on Amazon. Up to you. I hope you do it. Hope you find a way to do it. And that's it for today. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening.